All right. The reason why I saved this one for a little bit later in the stream is I don't care as much. I do have some reaction to it. And, it's flying around the internet. Let's talk about it. And then I'll tell you my little position on it after.
Wayne literally kicked me and my daughter out on Mother's Day today. And I am just recovering from surgery. I am 5 weeks out from a full mommy maker. I can't even lift boxes. What this man has is assistants and people coming to help kick us out today. Like, and broke up with me on Mother's Day through text. And like, what? And her birthday's next weekend. And I leave to New York this week for all the Sports Illustrated press. Like, when I tell you that I am absolutely unsure on how to even process my emotions, like, if y'all got lawyer recommendations, please send them because, so yeah, I know he has 2 girls being flown in today, and who knows how many plethora of girls he has. I've been nothing but supportive to this man, loved him till the end of the fucking world, but Wayne literally kicked me and my daughter out.
Y'all know I'm fucking triggered by this shit. I'm gonna keep calm though. Towards the end, when she says, "I know he has 2 girls flying in today," and then she says, "He also has a plethora of women. Who knows?" Well, if you think that your boyfriend, because if you're saying at the time of this video, Mother's Day today, which was yesterday, at that moment is when he broke up with you. Yet you're walking around with the mind state of him having a plethora of women. That means that you accepted that already. So you just tell on yourself whether you realize it or not. When I hear people expose themselves in that manner, it's not hard to keep people from within that category of, so you seem to be opportunistic then, right? Let me guess, you're the one that don't mind being the 5th wife, the 5th girlfriend, because you're there for your own causes and the lifestyle that's being provided. And maybe you guys are in love. I'm not going to act like I know you guys' relationship. I really don't give a fuck. I'm just saying, when you say y'all broke up today, and in the same fucking conversation, you're going to say, you probably have a plethora. If you feel that way, then why are you there? So let me say the lawyer thing that she said, right? And then I'm going to go to the last piece. When she says, if anybody has any good lawyer recommendations, hit me up. Nothing wrong with that, I guess, right? Using the internet to help do something you could do on your own. It's called Google. But legally, I feel like there are protections. Now, does somebody want to stay inside of a house that they know they didn't buy, that they know that they don't own, especially if they know that they're not the dominant force in and the other person wants you to get out? Nah, a lot of people is going to get the fuck on. If somebody's, even if you've been living there for 5 years and somebody says, get the fuck out. Some dominant male tells a woman, get the fuck out. You might leave. And it's probably good to leave also for your protection, for your energy. Certain people don't want to walk around in certain energies. Fine, you know what? Fuck you. I'm gonna get the fuck on. So I get it. But legally, I think there's a lot of like dwelling based protections. Hell, even landlords can't get people out of their cribs that stop paying rent without going through some extreme process. And even those legalities got even worse after COVID, where it's just like getting somebody out of your property is hell and back, right? Before you could finally get to the point of sending the marshals and changing the locks and putting their shit on the curb. But if you live somewhere for a certain amount of time, it could be as short as like, I think like a month or a couple. It probably changes state to state. But if you dwell or if you live and you reside in a place for a certain amount of time, legally, you have certain types of protection where it's just like somebody's kicking you out. You could legally say, I ain't going nowhere. And if somebody wants to call the cops show up and say, you live here? Can I see your license? How long have you lived there? And they're supposed to know those laws. I've been here for 2 years, me and my daughter. Look at my license. This is now my mailing address or whatever. Cops are going to pull Lil Wayne to the side and say, technically, she don't have to leave. I suggest either you leave the house to cool down or y'all figure this out. But if I need to stay here or if something else escalates, this is going to be written down as a report. We showed up for a domestic dispute. Yeah, you'll have a bigger problem. That happened to one of my boys. Him and his lady got into it. And while they was running around the crib screaming on each other, this lady called. She called her friend, and her friend heard them arguing over the phone. And to protect her own friend, she's the one that called the police, not the girlfriend in the house. The friend that was on the phone called the cops and sent it to her crib. She was like, I don't know. I hear them screaming in the background. I'm sending the cops over there just in case my girl ain't safe. Cops show up. You know what they told my man? He was the one, his name is on the lease and all that, or owns the crib and all that. Cops show up. They hear what's going on. She's not telling the cops, like, yo, I got this big problem or he hit me. She's not telling the cops that type of shit. He's not telling the cops that type of shit neither. Right. So they're literally just showing up for a domestic dispute call. But you want to know what the cops told my man? They said, yo, do me a favor. If it's within your means, can you pull up on one of your boys, or do you have any other family member close by, or is it okay for you to do a hotel? They can't tell you to go spend money that you don't want to spend, but they're like asking, they're pleading with him to leave the residence for the night so that cooler heads can prevail. And he took their advice and he left for the night. He was like, you know what? I'm out of here. So cops left. He left. I don't know who left first, right? Maybe the cops sat there and watched him pack a bag and then let him leave and then tell Shorty, like, look, everybody calm down. Technically, he still resides here. When he comes back home tomorrow, don't try to change the locks or nothing like that. But if you guys got to call us back, call us if you guys need us. But make sure everybody keep their hands to themselves and all that. Like sometimes the cops don't really have anything to do, anywhere to go with that. There's nothing to nobody to arrest in a situation like that. So I've seen that. So you talking about call a lawyer, Shorty? Just Google it. Do I need to leave the house that I've lived in for 2 months? Just Google it. All right. People don't use their people are so dim-witted. They don't use their fucking heads. So you could save yourself some money from calling a lawyer. I just gave you some very free legal advice that can help you make sure that you're not homeless right now. All right. So there you go. All right. Since you put that out there, you got the responses that you were looking for. Responses that can help you. What I said, even though I sound frustrated, what I said literally can help you save lawyer money and put you right back in the house because legally you may have the rights to be there. Okay. Now, let me go to this piece. I just connect as an 80s baby. I didn't come up in these times of social media and all this. So although I understand it and although I have adapted to it, I could still never co-sign it. I just will never, ever understand and co-sign somebody bringing their personal relationship skeletons to the fucking internet. It kills me. It kills me. There's hundreds, if not thousands of people in the world right now arguing or breaking up. Okay. Now, this is news also because it's Lil Wayne. And I'm pretty sure she knows that it's going to make headlines because it's Lil Wayne. If you wasn't with a celebrity, if you was with a regular James John, and nobody in the world knew him, he didn't even have an Instagram and Twitter account. And he did the same thing that Lil Wayne did yesterday on Mother's Day and everything. Put you and your daughter out, said, y'all got into it. And he said, get the fuck out the house. Right? Would you be doing this Instagram post? No, you're doing it because your boyfriend is a celebrity. Right? So having a different reaction under the same circumstances to me makes me look at the person like, you want some shit here. Right? I don't fuck with it. I don't fuck. Why? This is your personal life. Just Google if you have legal questions or go ask ChatGPT or some shit. The world does not need to know that you and take Lil Wayne out of the equation, that you and your boyfriend just got into it. Even if I don't care if it's Thanksgiving, Mother's Day, Christmas, your birthday, his birthday, your anniversary. It don't matter. The world does not need to know that you and your boyfriend just broke up. You're doing it because it's Lil Wayne. You can't convince me of anything different. And on top, I'm not sticking up for Lil Wayne. I don't know that nigga. I don't. But I'm just being real. On top of that, we have no context. God forbid somebody jump out and tell us the reason he kicked you out is because you did some super wild shit. Who knows? Who knows? But you put the camera on your daughter. You bring her visually into this. You don't need to. What if she got to go to school tomorrow and people clowning her behind this? And you just got kicked out of your house. You homeless. Look what you're doing, mother. You didn't need to put your daughter, but you're doing it to create the effect and to create and to heighten the impact. It's Mother's Day. Look, me and my daughter's out here. Boom, boom, boom. And I'm not trying to say that anybody deserves to just be kicked out on the street, especially with a kid on a holiday and be homeless. Especially when I'm telling you, shorty, go Google it. You probably have the rights to be there. If you don't have a key, if you live there all these years and you don't have a key, that just further shows the first point that I was making. Like, what type of situation are you allowing yourself to be in? The one that doesn't care if he has a plethora of women? But details like that, I'm just gonna throw out there. I don't know. But shorty, you don't need to do this. Well, I'm not talking directly to women. You shouldn't need to do this. And if you wouldn't do it to a regular boyfriend that works at the car wash, don't try to do it because you happen to be with a celebrity. This shit is we need to go in the other direction. The world does not need to know that you and your boyfriend broke up yesterday. That's y'all fucking business. Do not adopt the ways of these people that you see run into Instagram with their private shit every 5 seconds, people. Don't move like that. Teach people that your privacy is your privacy. Once you lose it,